he needs to hit the shot on the green. That's the most important thing. He doesn't want to go to that bunker on the right-hand side. At the 7th hole, he wants to make sure that he gets it up there on the green, maybe 15, 20 foot left of the hole.
Yeah, if you could, just a couple of pars in a way would do him, just to resettle himself down, get himself into a mood. A couple of maybe near misses, or not lucky, but just middle of the green right now would be good.
Exactly. And he needs to concentrate on this shot. He mustn't be thinking, you know, I've got to get birdies, I've got to try and get ahead of him, or allow himself to get ahead of himself.
Yeah.
I like it. Keep it left, alright?
Good.
Yeah, think about missed opportunities. Be in the moment, just play each shot for what it's worth. Try and take the pressure off you.
You know, and it's so easy to, you know, we talk like that and you try and do it. It's not as easy to do it as it sounds. It's so easy to let your mind wander either backwards or forwards.
He's got a 5-iron here and he's gripping right down the shaft. Almost hands on the metal, but it's got away from him. That's short. Wow, he's left it in just about the worst spot. So that's position Z.
That's a couple of very weak iron shots.
Himself a lot further back, a little bit more aggressive off the tee by Zach Johnson, so got a little bit more loft in his hands, chance to attack this flag. Only 159, play like 180. Chippy 6 or big 7 if he can keep it down low.
Left to right, so he needs to be aiming it between the pin and that crane on the left hand side.
Go hard. Go. Go.
And he's misjudged that wind too. As it gets up in the air, very easy for it to stall. Only on 11 paces on that front edge of the green, so he won't be too far away. 33 feet or so for Zach Johnson, but it does mean Fleetwood's going to have a tough up and down. He'll be just pitching straight onto a downslope.
Eddie Pepperell came very close to a birdie. He's had a 4 or 5 inch tap in for his par at the last for a round of 67, and he is the clubhouse leader at 5 under, 4 behind the leaders early in their rounds.
What a season for Pepperell. His first win on tour in Qatar. Now it's like it could be with a great shout here, certainly for a top 10. He's earned his place for next year. Well, I suppose the only thing in favour here for Tommy, pitching into the wind. So where he could take out some of the slope by pitching it fairly well up. Then the breeze hold the ball up for him. Opening the blade. certainly making life difficult for himself, no question about that. We'll have a very easy look at the leaderboard. You can see the leaderboard on the edge of the green there. So Zach Johnson, Tommy Fleetwood, they will know exactly how everybody else stands at the top of the leaderboard.
And those electronic leaderboards have been a fantastic innovation by the RNA over the last few years. In practice runs, they tell the spectators exactly where every player is. So if you want to go to the 40s, you can pick up Tiger there or whatever it is. And then they put lots of other things up there as well, lots of rules questions, quiz questions, as well as obviously during the championship serving as a leaderboard. Instantly up-to-date leaderboards.
Well, he gave that a very good scare. Certainly had enough pace. Hard coming across the shoulder there, maybe to keep it high enough.
Phil Mickelson has just finished with a bogeyed the 16th and the 18th to be back in level par 35 for a 71. 1 under par. That's tied 22nd at the moment.
Well, in the context of Tommy's round, this becomes an extremely important putt. Has to find a way to stop the rod. He's just gone bogey, double bogey. Drops a shot here. 4 shots gone in 3 holes. It would be really hard to come back from that.
I agree with you, Warren, that if he made that putt, it could just change his mental attitude so much from being negative to straight away being a little bit more positive for the holes to come. Now, oh dear, he's in a very bad space.
Well, he is, because he knows right now the next hole is a particularly tough par 3. 9's no easy 4 either. If ever there was a hole that maybe would give him a chance to respond quickly, it would have been the 7th. Not going to be that way.
The number of players under par is diminishing quite quickly. There are 29 at the moment. Keep an eye on things.
How many are under par for their round today? Not many. In the leading groups, that is.
And the Lombard has gone out in 40. Back to level par.
And that's a gritty par from Zach Johnson.
To drop back to 2 under for the championship. And 7 shots behind the leaders. Jordan Spieth Spieth, Xander Schauffele.
And he's got to find a way now to get some energy, get some good thoughts. Something needs to happen to turn the despondency around for Tommy Fleetwood, because right now he knows his chance of winning is probably gone, and you can get so deflated. You're so high when you start off the round. You've made those mistakes. Now you've gone through the floor. You've got to find a way to pick yourself up. It's hard.
This is the first par 3 on the golf course. And those bunkers on the right there have got so much work this week. And that's mainly due to those white posts on the left which are out of bounds. Today's pin placement is at the back of the green, 27 yards on the green, and just 5 from that left edge of the green where that bunker is.
Zach Johnson for the par 3s this week. He's 1 over par, dropped a shot on this hole on the first day, parred it a couple of times since then.
Lovely shot, but it's got to stop, and it has. Terrific shot from Zach Johnson. He looks like that actor that played the country and western singer.
I think I know who you mean, but I'm not so sure. Now then, Tommy. Find a way. Out of the 2 majors so far this season, he leads the par 3 scoring coming into this week. 4 under for the first 2 majors. Needs a good tee shot now. And that is a very good tee shot. So I was rather hoping he would do on the last hole, just knock it into the middle of the green and steady things. But walk there as he walks off, a walk of resignation, I think.
Tiger Woods, 6 under par, in 3rd place, a third of the way through the final round of the Open Championship. And I can guarantee you that everybody is watching him, watching to see what the Tiger's doing.
Well, nothing's happening for McIlroy. Nothing's happening for Molinari, but Molinari's making no mistakes. That's Spieth. Xander Schauffele, Frankie Molinari, all pars, no bogeys for those players, so very close at the moment. Very cat and mouse stuff.
Something might be happening for Tiger Woods. He's within 2 feet of the front edge of the 6th green in 2.
What would you be feeling like now if you were Eddie Pepperell in the clubhouse? 5 under, knowing it's howling out there.
Well, I'd know I was going to finish in the top 5. That I do know. I'd be very, very disappointed if I didn't finish in the top 5, maybe even the top 3.
provided the wind just doesn't die away. Which later in the day,
Right now, if I was in the clubhouse, I'd take my chances.
See behind there those trees rustling away. Actually, where they are on the green, there's a little bit of protection, I think. They kind of a sheltered spot. There's some trees down one side of the course that they won't feel the wind quite as much there as they are when they're in the open parts of the course. There's a little bit of everything, Carnoustie. Got a little bit of heather in patches. There's gorse bushes. Odd tree. Don't often see trees on links courses. Plenty of rough. 112 bunkers. A little left to right here for Fleetwood. Well, he's not quite in USO Open mode, is he? Not quite firing.
Johnson is a fantastic grinder. Proven himself in these conditions. He's been very good at winning particular tournaments. He finished 5th in the Valera Texas Open this year, a tournament that he'd won twice previously, in 2008 and 2009. Won the Colonial twice as well on the PGA Tour. Looking for his second win in the Open.
Well, it steadies the ship a little bit for Tommy Fleetwood. 3 over today, 2 under, but not the start he wanted.
Bernard Lang has just finished with a round of 71, just 2 drop shots in his round. The finish at 1 under for the championship. It's tied 23rd at the moment. It'll be better than that by the time they've all finished.
Pretty sure it'll be a top 20 finish for Bernhard at the age of 60. That's pretty impressive.
What is it? Is it top 10? I can't remember that automatically get into the following year.
This is the 9th. Dangerous bunkers, both right and left. You really, really need to hit a good tee shot. You can see once again a tough pin placement. They've put it right next to that bunker on the left-hand side. It's only 4 yards away from the edge of the green on the left. So if you're going to miss this, maybe a little on the right, as long as you don't go in the bunkers. This fairway only 26 yards wide.
One of the wider ones then.
No, it's not really. Trying to hold it up into the wind, but he's just turned it over a little bit too much. Get a lie.
He was hoping the wind was going to blow it back, but I think that's what the line of trees down that left side, it just shelters the players on this side. They actually get a bit of a breather. And Tommy has decided to throw caution to the wind. He's going to be out with the driver. Now's the time to attack
And this is the right decision, I think, Warren. He's got to make something happen. He's got to get some birdies. He's got to actually do the job. He's not going to do the job playing conservatively.
Does bring danger into play, though.
Oh, he's rifled it down this fairway. Only time is going to stop that ball from running.
Oh, wow, that's an absolute honey.
We're in line.
Well, that's the thing, the sort of thing that could turn his mood back to a positive one. You start hitting a few flushes like that and you think, oh, you never know. 3 or 4 birdies on the spin, you could be back right there.
Wide stance, straight, it's fairly straight-legged. He keeps the club beautifully on plane. That's the reason he drives the ball so straight, because he knows he's going to start it where he aims.
Just had to double check that exemption. It is the first 10 and anyone tied for 10th place who is exempt for the following year. So that would be quite something if Bernard got that.
Well, he might win next week.
Well, exactly. That's how he qualified for this year, isn't it?
Get him again.
As the Senior Open champion.
I guess if he does it enough, they might give him a lifetime exemption eventually.
Nota Begay not looking too happy.
He will. He will. So smell his mimic and what he's got
Of course, commentator for NBC television.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Although the rough is long, it's fairly innocuous. It's not really that tough to hit out in most parts, especially where it's dry like that and brown. Sometimes when there's a bit of green grass in there, then it's much thicker. But he hasn't got a great angle into this flag with a pin on the left-hand side. You see, maybe just try and go out to the right edge of the green. You've got to watch out that you get a flyer. There's a little burn that runs down the right side of the screen. You can see it just to the right of the green, maybe 8 or 10 yards off the edge. Tiger Woods has made another birdie, so Tiger Woods is now in 3rd place on his own and within 2 of the leaders.
He all but got onto the 6th green in 2.
They've taken a long time over this. Can't decide what he's going to do. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I've seen players play this shot out here, almost chip it out, pitch it 60 yards and just let it run, a bit like we played at the 2nd hole. He's gone for the chaser. Just pitched in the semi and it held it up. A little bit of sand awaits him there. Tommy. 134, just a nice wedge. Don't let it go away on the wind. Just let it drift away. Once you get that wedge above the tree line, it will be affected.
No big move from Justin Rose as yet, just the one bogey going out at 37. He's at 3 under.
He should be alright.
Ryan Moore has just birdied the 14th and 15th. He's now at 4 under with 3 to play. He has a very purposeful stride. Almost invariably wears dark glasses, seem to be good at getting very focused in the zone, keeping his mind on the job. The sports psychologists have different theories of how you should go about doing this. I think most would say that there's no way that you can stay fully focused and concentrated all the way around, that you need to have a relief valve switch off and on.
Oh, it was pretty easy for Dale when he was playing. Just used to keep telling gags all the way around, putting everybody else off while they burst into laughter.
That is so unfair. Right, Zach Johnson.
He's really got to shovel this out. 22 yards short of the green. Flag up 25. So hard to get it all the way there.
It's not a bad shot.
That's pretty good.
They say it's the toughest shot in golf, the long bunker shot. I think it certainly is for the club golfer.
Everyone's different. Some people find chipping quite difficult.
Oh, this is starting to get nasty.
I was talking about myself, actually.
This is starting to get very, very nasty now. Now we're getting personal.
Jordan Spieth has dropped a shot at the 5th, back to 8 under. And de Schaffler leads on his own.
Well, outside chance here, straight into the wind. A relatively flat putter across the green for Tommy. A little bit of left to right initially. It's nowhere near the pace there. I don't know whether that really held up in the wind or not, or whether it was just undercooked.
And de Schaffler's individual lead didn't last long because he's bogeyed the 5th as well, so he and Spieth now both at 8 under. Kevin Kisner and Tiger Woods both birdied the 6th, and they're both at 7 under. You went in here yesterday, Dale, to ask you for your thoughts on the winning score. Then, what are your thoughts on the winning score now?
I must be honest, after yesterday, I thought we'd get into double figures quite easily. So maybe 11 or 12. Right now, I'm thinking it could be six or seven. As you say, if the wind keeps up, if the wind dies down, then it's going to be kind of maybe similar to what it is now, 8 or 9. That's a great thing about a links golf course, though. It just changes all the time. You know, just think how it's changed from the guys that teed off early this morning to now.
It's what makes it such fun being a member of a links club. The course is changing all the time, all through the year. Oh, that was a good effort. Unlucky. But it's another shot gone out in 39. 3 bogeys, no birdies. Back to 2 under. The depressing thing about dropping shots in these conditions is you know that it's going to be very hard to find birdies. There are quite a lot of birdies around 13, 14 and 15 coming home. 14 is obviously the easiest hole on the course. But apart from that, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's a good putt to make again. Wouldn't want to have been out in 40.
Tenth hole.
You can see the bunkers there, 5 of them. But it's those 4 on the right-hand side that are devilish. You want to make sure that they stay out of those. The pin today at this 10th is right on that very front right-hand part. It's funny. You think front pin placement should be easier, but they're not. It's a tricky pin placement.
Oh, downwind tee shot. Not so sure driver's the right club off the tee. Maybe a 3-wood today. Seen players when it's been downwind with a driver that have knocked it in the burn. I know we've had a little bit of rain, might have softened it down.
Well, when it was very fiery on Thursday, Matsuyama put it in the burn with a 3-wood. I mean, it just ran forever. I've never seen anything like it.
You can see on that clock right behind the players here, exactly 4 o'clock.
Reaching the turn in just about 2 hours.
Well, where the flag is cut today, although that's in the left rough, that's a good angle to the hole, so I don't think he'll be unhappy with that at all.
And it's good lie.
Yeah.
Might be headed towards. No, it's okay.
He was saying get left.
I think to miss the bunker.
Bunker's on the left. Might go left of the left bunker.
Left to the left, yeah. Trouble with those watches behind some of these tees. I try to steal one, but it's so heavy.
It's heavy and they're battened down because they knew people like you were around.
But it really weighs on your left wrist.
Francesco Molinari is doing what he does best in difficult conditions. He's playing par golf and moving up the leaderboard. Eddie Pepperell in the clubhouse, leading with a 67. One bogey in there at the 8th. Coming back in 33 without dropping a shot.
What's interesting there, Jules, is that of the afternoon players, the only one on that top first page that's under par is Tiger.
And he hasn't dropped a shot. He's got a birdie putt coming up on the 7th too.
Just lost in his thoughts there as he walks up the 10th hole. It's called South America.
Do you know why?
No, but I hope you're going to tell me.
Well, this is a story. You told the story. Tell us the story.
No, you tell it.
No, you tell it, because I'll get it wrong.
No, you won't. Oh, it was a fellow who was going to go to South America, wasn't it? He was playing the hole. And I can't... It actually wasn't me that told the story. I can't remember exactly why now, but he missed his boat to South America for some reason. And so they called the hole after him.
I think he had a party and ended up sleeping in the bunker on that hole. Missed the boat to South America and ended up staying here forever. So they called the hole South America. It's a nice story, even if it's not true.
Tying made a bird.
Fleetwood's drive 347, leaving him 104. 30 yards further back. Similar angle. Zach Johnson. Really awkward to that front flag today. Flag bringing, I suppose if you were offline and away to the right, it would bring the Barry Burn into play, but just trying to control the length of the shot. Tricky.
James Braid laid out this course in 1926 specifically for it to be an open venue. Presumably from the way the burn goes, that must have been put in then.
I would have thought so, yes.
Because I can't imagine it was entirely
It's not a
natural.
lot worse.
No, it's certainly it's built. You can see the rock in.
Well,
It's
yes, now,
97 to
but
cover
it,
the
I mean, it
water.
might have been a watercourse originally.
Yes, it
but
could have been. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
I wanna
clearly been
land this
fortified.
I'd say 10 short, 17.
Full of sand.
17.
Yeah. A little bit right of it.
I think it's a pretty good one of these, Dave.
Okay.
Right on that front edge, just before you get to the green, there is a little upslope, which will stun the ball if you're not careful, but coming out of the rough, it should chase on a bit here.
He's going to like that. Just not quite getting to the green, but that's only 7.5 yards from the hole.
I'm going to leave. You want to sit on the front edge, don't you? Yeah. One back on the green, though? Yeah. Okay. Hands in the middle, yeah?
Well, a good angle, good yardage, 104. Downwind now, he should be looking to get this close, got to get it somewhere inside 10 feet. Have a really good chance of holding it. Can't believe it. Maybe he's expecting it to jump. That's, well, I'm afraid that's about a 6 out of 10 shot. Maybe not even that, maybe 5.
I'm just going to say what he really needs now, and which is very possible, is 3-3-4. So 2 birdies and a par, and then 3 at the par 3, and then a 4 or 3 maybe at that par 5. turn everything around for him. But don't get ahead of yourself. Let me do it.
Rory McIlroy's just made a long birdie putt at the 9th to be out in 37. He's back to 4 under, not out of it. That was one against the head, really.
So we're quite interested to see what the situation is at the turn when all the leading groups have played 9 holes. They start the back 9 Sunday afternoon. Let's see who's in the frame.
Well, it always does come down to the last hole, but knowing what the last 3 are like here, things could change dramatically over the run in.
Go Tommy! Tiger's in the bunker.
We know the fringes around here, aprons of the green, really are mowed down. They're pretty quick, maybe a little faster even than the green speed on the putting surface. So this is just like a long putt for Tommy. Got to be about 45 feet, putting into the shadow. Flag taken out. Very good effort. Got to find a way to get it inside 10 feet. If you can get shots to 10 to 15 feet, 10 feet, even then, statistically, it's only a 50% chance of holding them. Slightly less when you get to 15. Once you get to outside 20 feet, you're only got about a 5% chance. So it's how adjacent you can get it with your approach shots that's so important. This man never gives up. Real tough cookie. Not a bad opportunity here from the front of the green. Little slope to contend with early on as it comes up to the green. Yes, sir.
He really is something, isn't he?
Starts the back 9 with a birdie, first birdie of the day. That'll give him a real little pep start to the back 9.
Zach Johnson moved up to 3 under. Tommy Fleetwood stays at 2.
Zach had actually played the back 9 pretty well in the first 2 rounds. Came back in 34 1 under and 33 2 under, but then yesterday ran into trouble, came back in 38.
11th hole, doglegs to the right. And once again, 4 bunkers that really make this into a testing tee shot. Hole twists at the bunkers to the right, and a long, long, narrow green.
And the fact that it's into the wind off the right as well certainly makes it tricky. 11th hardest hole on the course, just 6 birdies. In fact, on this back 9, there's only 2 holes where you're in double digits in terms of birdies made. So very few birdies being made on the back 9 overall. 16th still doesn't have a birdie on the hole today. hole playing under its par 2 today. That's the 14th par 5. That's because it's playing downwind.
In, slide out of the left.
Like only 2 par 5s on the course. Makes it more difficult.
3 wood off the tee for Zach Johnson.
Love it.
To try and thread it right between those bunkers. Green, as I say, long, narrow green, 43 yards long. That's going to be fine. Tommy again with the driver.
Well, that 3 wood of Zach Johnson's, it's 251 to the right-hand bunker. Coming back into the wind, I don't think Fleetwood can fly the 2 bunkers right and left at about 270-ish. So this had better be straight, or he'll be in sand.
Tommy Fleetwood has enjoyed considerable success on both sides of the Atlantic this year, playing the PGA Tour and the European Tour. Started well. Lovely shot into the first. And a lovely putt too. Birdie 3 for starters. For a par at the second. Par at the third and fourth. And had this for a par at the fifth. And that was unfortunate. It looked good all the way until the last inch. But this is where he lost the plot a bit. Par 5 6th, putting his third shot out of bounds. Actually did pretty well in the end to make a double bogey 7. And from that point it was really crucial that he didn't drop any more. Desperately needed to get it up and down for his par at the 7th, which he didn't do. Pars after that to go out in 39 and a par at the 10th. I think he'd probably rather marginally be Zach Johnson here. Coming off the fairway, good angle at the flag. Just a nice pitching wedge. Grew up in Iowa, now lives in Georgia, Simon's Island. Times a winner on the PGA Tour, but hasn't won since he won this title. back in 2015 at St Andrews. Beat Mark Leishman and Louis Oosthuizen in a playoff, a 4-hole playoff, which is still the rule for this championship. And if there are still 2 men or more left after 4 holes, they get into sudden death playoff. Last time that happened was Thomas LeVay against Ernie Els at Muirfield.
Short of the bunkers. And that's okay. 22 or 3 feet. But a little bit uphill for his birdie. Didn't close to that bunker on the left hand side, just 4 from that edge of the green.
That's the problem coming out of that stuff. Xander Scheffler has dropped another shot, back-to-back bogeys. At the 6th, he's back to 7 under. He went through a very tough patch a couple of years ago when life wasn't treating him very well one way or another. He just lost his swing completely, didn't know what he was doing really. He's going back to Alan Thompson, his original coach at the Heswell Club on the Wirral, northwest of England. Got him back on track. And he's become a major player over the last couple of years around the world. Number 1 in the race to Dubai last year. He's currently lying 3rd in the race to Dubai. And he's 32nd in the FedEx Cup rankings on the PGA Tour. Helped considerably, of course, by coming 2nd in the US Open.
This 11th green here, he's got a long putt for a birdie. Really, if he gets down in 2, he's actually done fairly well. It's probably a good 15 or 16 yards, this putt.
Well, Tiger Woods now shares the lead because Jordan Spieth has just missed a very short bogey putt on the par 5 6th. He's double bogeyed it to slip back to 6 under. We knew it was going to be an interesting afternoon, but this is quite something.
This is all about trying to get the speed right. Judge the pace of this putt, and I would say he's done it very well. Excellent effort, in fact a little harder and that might have even gone in.
Johnson, one of the PXG staff players now. If you've got pots of money, you can go out and buy a set of those for equivalent of a Rolls Royce or something similar. They do claim to be the Rolls Royce of golf clubs. They had unlimited funds in the research and development of them.
Very interesting story behind that. Bob Parsons, the owner, who is an American billionaire after selling his business called GoDaddy, went to a golf club designer and said, I want you to make me the best clubs in the world. I don't care what it costs, I want the best golf clubs in the world. Go on. Well, whether they are or not the very best in the world, I'm not sure. I haven't really used them, so I don't really know, but they certainly are excellent, and they are a little bit different. They make clubs they're very forgiving.
I know Charles Walter said when he first started using them, the problem for him was that they were going too far. Just wasn't quite certain how far they were going. They've got infinite adjustment on the irons.
It's actually interesting because one of the designers they hired came from Ping, and the clubs, although in look they don't resemble Ping, from the back, if you look at the back, they don't resemble, but when you put them down they actually do in some ways.
And Carsten Solheim was one of the great innovators in golf club design.
There's a company that still makes fabulous golf clubs. The 12th hole has been a par 5 in the past, but playing as a par 4. You can see it's bunkered as a par 5. Those two bunkers on the right there make it a very, very narrow target for the drive. And then the bunkers that are short of the green, which would be the sort of bunkers you'd expect to see on a par 5. Very wide green from left to right. The pin right at the back of the green, which is a dangerous pin placement, because if you overshoot it, you'll go out that bank at the back and leave yourself a very difficult chip. A 4 on this hole is excellent.
Overall, it's the hardest hole on the course. It's ranked the 5th hardest today. It's 5 birdies in this final round, 19 in all over the course of the championship.
The rough on the left-hand side of this fairway is quite a lot thicker than most of the rough on the golf course. We've seen a few people go in there and then not being able to reach the green for 2. Oh, that's a beauty. He started it out at the bunkers and drawn it away from them down the left-hand side of the fairway. Just running the first cut, but that's perfect.
Still, please. Thank you.
If your natural shot is a draw, you have a slight advantage in these conditions.
Yes, I would agree with that. And generally speaking, somebody whose natural shot's a draw tends to hit the ball often lower than somebody who tends to slice the ball. I did neglect to tell you that there's also water. There's a little burn that runs down the right here, just in case it wasn't tough enough. Oh, that is a stunner. But don't go too far left.
I'm trying to remember when Tiger last led a major championship. Did he the Masters at some point? Relatively recently.
I don't know that he's done it since 2008, since he last won.
He's certainly been close.
Zach didn't get off to a good start with that 3-putt at the very first hole. Then at the third, beautifully holed from the back of the green. And the fourth hole, his drive was in the hazard. And he nearly got away with a par.
This one was for par at the 5th.
Sorry, the fourth hole, that was a par. Sorry. It was the 5th he didn't hazard.
Another shot gone. At the 9th to be out in 39. When you can putt as well as he does, though, you just keep on going, knocking them towards the hole, and sooner or later they're going to drop as they did for a birdie at the 10th.
The great thing about Zach Johnson is when they miss, they don't miss by much. He really is an excellent putter.
I think in answer to your question, Tiger Woods last led a major championship in the USPGA after the second round in 2012, went on to finish 11th. And he's led World Golf Championships since then. Nothing seriously, and got to go back 2013 Firestone, where he won, where he led after 4.
But as yet, he's not won a major, coming from worse than leading in the 3rd round. Or sharing the lead. Tiger's made a tar at the 9th. Very good up and down from the bunker to be out in 34. 2 birdies, no drop shots. Sharing the lead with Xander Schauffele, who's in trouble on the 7th.
Any kind of jump is going to be perfect. Another Wednesday. Let it come down.
And he's the only player that's playing this afternoon that's under par.
Right on the pin, yeah.
Yeah, a little right to left. Steady, steady. Whoa. And back off the slope. Yeah, that's a good shot. Very hard when they give the pin locations out at the start of the day. I was trying to work out a way you could actually get the little marker on the green today. 20 on 11 from the left. Or right, I'm sorry, 11 from the right. It's almost impossible on the little diagram. Shows you it's so far back.
Yeah.
See, very lush grass around that ball there. And he just might find he gets a bit of a flyer with the shot. Could be an 8. Did you hear that?
I think so. Yeah.
Certainly
Nice
did.
7.
Someone's phone going off.
I don't know why he stood away like that. The call was for him.
Sit. Don't hit anybody. Jumps substantially.
Now, I know he's coming from the rough too, but with that wind and the temperature out there, these greens will dry out. They're becoming harder to hit. They will lose a little bit of their softness and give. So trying to judge shots coming in, unless you're coming from the fairway, will get more difficult as the round goes on.
Rory McIlroy's made a birdie at the 11th to move to 5 under, a share of 5th place. And Xander Schauffele is about to drop out of the lead. He's in trouble on the 7th.
Are you telling me that Tiger Woods is leading on his own?
Any minute now.
I've also got a feeling though that Tiger might be in trouble off the 10th tee. There's the card of Tiger Woods out in 34. May have driven into a bunker down the left side of the 10th, so that could cause a problem.
Tony Finau's birdied the 14th to get it to 4 under. But what's Eddie Pepperell thinking? Because you can bet your bottom dollar that he's not too far away.
I wonder if he's not on the range practicing for the playoff. He mustn't over practice though either.
No, he's a pretty laid back character. He'll be probably rewriting his latest blog. Adam Scott 2 over for his round, but 2 under is not a million miles away. He's actually, having gone out in 40, he's birdied the 10th and the 14th. Mind you, you have to think that pretty much everyone is going to birdie the 14th. You certainly have lost onto the field if you don't. Tiger leads on his own. Schauffele's had a double bogey 6 at the 7th. He's just gone bogey, bogey, double to slip back to 5 under. Out on Lee, 6 over for his round today. He's found these conditions somewhat unfamiliar and rather difficult. Sam Locke, the only amateur in the field, finishing right down at the bottom. He had trouble on the back 9 today, but well done to him. Tremendous experience and a great effort to have made the cut on the mark. Just 19 years old, part of Paul Lawrie's young academy, and is highly thought of.
Zach Johnson has long birdie putt-putting across the green.
Yeah, always hard with these ones to try and find a way to get them to settle pretty quickly round the hole, coming off the back shoulder. Yes, raced away down the slope.
Again, on a really good line. If it was slower, it might have turned.
I suppose the only thing about that is, having hit it past, knows what the line is coming back, but doesn't really want it back from 8 feet. A little read of the green book, but coming from the other side, this is a really good opportunity for Fleetwood, maybe to hold one slightly against the head. 20 feet. But he can give it a good run without worrying too much about any return putt. Just not going for him at the moment.
Tiger Woods is leading. The last time he led in the final round of a major was in the Masters in 2011. He ended up tied fourth there. He's playing alongside Francesco Molinari, who's now tied second. And it's Molinari who beat him, wasn't it, in the singles at Medina in the Ryder Cup. Tiger, I think, quite generously gave him a putt at the last to concede the match.
His second putt for a par. This very difficult 12th hole. And it must have looked good for a while.
No, that's surprising because that came back right to left. When it went past the hole, it was, you would have thought, if watching it, it should have come back left to right.
Left to right, absolutely.
Well, you're absolutely right about the greens. They are going to get increasingly difficult as the afternoon wears on.
Definitely, definitely. And it's harder to get nearer to the hole too, to have makeable putts. So pars become more and more valuable. Keep making pars from here on in, then the leaders are not going to lose too much ground. But it makes it hard for the back markers like Tommy to try and make any move, because they are not easy to make.
I love this 13th hole. I think it's beautifully bunkered hole. That bunker in the front is very special. Very, very long, narrow green. And the pin is 33 on today. Right at the back on the right-hand side, you can see in the corner that brings that right-hand bunker also into play. Try and just play for the middle of the green. If you get the right distance, you're only going to be 15 feet from the hole.
I suppose if Tiger does go on to hold out and take the title, there will be similarities made in the press between him and Hogan. Hogan, you know, having a car crash and coming back and winning a major championship when everyone thought his days were numbered. Tiger coming back after big operations and everyone thinking, well, he's not going to be able to win again in big tournaments.
Well, Tiger clearly is not troubled by his back, because you're quite right, he did find a fairway bunker on the 10th and has just absolutely smashed it. Huge recoil to get it almost onto the front of the green on the 10th. And if you were worried about your back, you wouldn't be doing that.
And he also wasn't worried about the burn that fronted the green. He was aggressive to give it a go, rather surprisingly. And many have been very cautious. Now, how will Tommy try and play this? This is such a narrow green, this par 3. I mean, there's almost no target to aim for up there, is there? Green is in a figure of 8. It pinches in right in the middle, so flag is just cut past that section, protected by the bunker on the right. Aim at the middle of the green, let the wind drift it over there, or even aim it on the left edge of the green. Let's try to go at it, but it's just a 2-putt from there. Won't be making too many birdies from that situation. Like to be grateful to make a par from there.
The holes on this golf course where you just play, you just want to make a par. 12 is one of those, 13 is another. You know, you've got to pick your holes. 14 is a hole that you want to birdie, 11 is a hole that you really should be trying to birdie, and 10 you should be trying to birdie. But 12 and 13, I think, are holes. All you want to do is make pars on those two.
I'll take pars any day of the week, all 18. light now to play in. Likes to play a draw, probably using that normal draw to hold it up into the left to right wind. That's down in there, that flag, but it should be more left to right.
Alex Noren has birdied the 11th. He's at 4 under, 3 back.
Got to mention Francesco Molinari, who's made just 10 straight pars to be level par for the day, and he's only 1 shot behind Tiger and a tie for second with Jordan Spieth.
Well, this is perfect for him, isn't it? And lots of people mentioned his name coming into the championship. It really should suit his style of play, and a man very much in form.
Nick Faldo, Muirfield.
18 pars, yeah.
Would that do it?
Very well cooked. But getting back to his being in form, he's probably the most informed player in the world over the last two or 3 months.
Yep. Well, when you can win on both sides of the Atlantic and win really good tournaments the way Francesco has done, you're going to be feeling very confident of your ability down the closing holes.
And I'm sure he'd give some credit for that to Dave Allred, the mind mechanic. I mean, he's not a typical sports psychologist. He's worked with sportsmen in a variety of sports. He's a very hard man, and it's his practice routines that are done in a realistic but pressured way that I think have probably helped Francesco. He was the man that brain dead. Johnny Wilkinson, the England fly half, he used to help him a lot.
Well, one of the things they do when they play practice round, they have days where they go out and they say, right, this is our practice round together. And let's say you go 125 yards. He says, well, from here you should be expected to get down in 2. So they don't leave that hole until he does get down in 2. So he plays a shot to the green, walks up, tries to hold it out. If he doesn't hold it out, goes back to play it again. So at any time, he's always under pressure to try and play the perfect shot and push himself to the limit, even in practice rounds. That's what these guys do, push themselves to the limit. And if those rounds take 6 hours, they take 6 hours. Really tough putt this for Tommy, coming over the shoulder of the bunker, uphill, downhill, side hill putt. Going to run very close to running off the edge of the green here. You've got to have enough pace, just perfect pace as it goes over the slope. Just inside the edge of the green. Hard to make yourself cut it off the green to bring it back onto it.
There are 2 men, I think, in particular out there amongst the leading contenders who thought that they would never have the chance of going head-to-head with Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth. Potentially they are.
Outside chance for him to redeem himself a little bit, having 3-putted the last hole. He's had a couple of 3-putts in this round today, Zach Johnson. That would really irritate him. Certainly not shy coming forward, is he? Probably wouldn't be the best foursomes putter. Keep running putts like that past the hole. There are a lot of people that wouldn't like the return ones.
I mean, foursomes, I don't know, if you play with a guy like that, generally they know that, and they knock them up stone dead for you.
Yeah.
And what's nice about playing with somebody like that is that he's not frightened of 4-footers.
No.
So he'll tell you that you can actually have a go, because he'll just roll them in all day. I used to play with a fellow by the name of Selwyn Shevitz as an amateur in the foursomes, and he was like that. He'd say, give it a go, knock it 4 foot past. He didn't worry about it. Tommy Fleetwood's worried about this one, that I can tell you. He didn't have to, though. That's a good par.
Rory McIlroy's just missed a 4-footer at the 12th for par. He's back to 4 under.
3 bogeys on the card today for McIlroy. Even in conditions like this, that's quite a lot when you're trying to chase. And you're trying to make up ground. Bogeys are definitely not your friend.
Would you rather be Tiger Woods at 7 under with 8 to play, or Eddie Pepperell at 5 under in the clubhouse?
I'd rather be Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, take the names out. Would you rather be a player?
I would rather be on that course. A couple ahead. And let's have a look at this 14th hole. Par 5. This is the hole that won the Open Championship for Gary Player when he hit a 4-wood to about a foot from the hole and made an eagle way back in 1968, 50 years ago. He's played a lot shorter than that this week. A lot of the players have been hitting short irons into this hole. Shares a green with the 4th hole. You can see the pin there on the front left of the green.
Pretty much the pin position where Broderick Harrington made eagle back in 2007 as he went on to win.
Well, downwind today, it's probably an iron off the tee for a lot of the players. Certainly we saw this morning both Paul Casey and Henrik Stenson hit irons and then hit pretty good shots onto the green to have eagle putts. So Tommy's in a situation where he's on all-out attack.
Dangerous thing here with the driver is if you push it out to the right and it's straight downwind, it's playing short, there is gauze out there on the right hand side that would be reachable. About where that scoreboard is out there on the right hand side, the yellow scoreboard.
Thing is, his favoured shot with the driver is the draw. It tends to come from the inside, hits that slight draw, which would be ideal here. Perfect.
That is a fantastic drive. Hey!
Yeah, might drive it up to the spectacle bunkers. That's huge. Look at that.
If you like them long and straight, it's fine.
Wow, that's he's got it up to a drop zone up there.
That's another beauty. Lovely drive. Now that was an interesting stat. Did you see it? -8 on the par 5 so far.
Well, on the 6th, he's gone eagle, birdie, eagle, par for the week, and he's birdied the 14th every day. So he'd be rather disappointed he didn't birdie the 6th today. So I mean, this is almost a par 4 today for the player, so I suppose he hasn't eagled this 14th yet, Zach Johnson, so he might as well eagle it today. Very impressive though.
The two Kevins, Kisner and Chappell, have both birdied the 10th. They are now at 6 under, 1 back. Looms by 1 from Malari, Kisner, Chappell and Spieth. Eddie Pepperell, superb 67, the clubhouse leader. Right, slipping back, having gone birdie bogey at the 11th and 12th, back to 4 under. Toby and Ollison made a great start, birdied the first 2, then double bogeyed the 9th, out in 36, ended up with a 71. 3 under. Justin Rose has just eagled the 14th to go 5 under. He has played the last few holes rather well.
Stand by your beds, it might be an exciting finish.
What's the winning score now?
Oof.
6 under, 7 under maybe. Maybe even 5 under. Eddie Pepperell's looking better and better, isn't he?
Well, you have got those holes where dramatic things can happen. Justin Rose gets an eagle, and that's not that difficult today on the 14th. Make a big move going up the leaderboard, but equally there are rather more difficult holes where it's very easy to go rapidly back down the leaderboard again. But if you hit a drive like Fleetwood down the 14th, 99 yards left to a par 5 for your second shot.
It's actually childish, isn't it? 99 yards left on a par 5.
Well, there's got to be some relief somewhere.
Wow. And he's got the perfect angle into that pin.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got everything. Eagle's got to be in the back of his mind, but definitely he's going to walk off here. You've got to believe with a birdie.
Well, Andy can pitch. So can Zach Johnson. He's only got 106 yards left. Tiger's in trouble on the 11th. Got very fortunate with his second shot. It was going miles left and it tried to hit a spectator or a stand or something and bounce back into play.
That flag here at 14, that's straight downwind, which means at 15 straight downwind, 16 straight downwind, and 18 straight downwind. But the bad news is 17 is straight into the wind. And even these holes that are straight downwind are not easy. I mean, 16 particularly. And the wind is still fairly hard. I'm not sure exactly what it is in miles per hour, but flag is whipping around.
Good lie. Let me see the 60. 92, is that right? What's that, 101? 3. Gotta be just a little right of it.
Are you surprised he's not taken relief in the crossing here?
landed about
Well,
four short.
it's it's going to be really, really firm under that ball. But obviously it must be a good lie, because there must be a reason he's not taking relief. He does have that option. The fact that he's not doing it must mean he's got a very good lie.
They're not insignificant, those spectacle bunkers.
This is a sand wedge, maybe a gap wedge, and beautifully played. Sit down, sit down. Ah, look at the wind, what that's done to that ball. But it's a good shot.
Actually, I think it was the third shot that Tiger hiked left, because he's now had a double bogey at the 11th. He's out of the lead.
He did land it way short.
Interesting. Eddie Pepperell, who's now lying just one back, watching this, started the day just one under par. He was 8 back at the start of the day. And you never know, it really might be, in the end, he could get in a playoff. I don't think he's going to win outright, but I mean, it may even end up being in a playoff, who knows?
Tommy Fleetwood has suddenly got a chance again. If he can eagle this hole, and he's got a great angle into this flag, he can eagle this, he's back in with a chance.
Just raced away, didn't it? Look at that.
You think because the hole is downwind it's going to be a lot easier. Sometimes they're actually more difficult.
Well, especially to a front flag on a hard links. All drying out again out there, both the greens and the fairways. It's getting back to the way it was playing on Thursday.
I'm sure Tommy Fleetwood will be watching the putt very closely here of Zach Johnson, give an idea of pace, line, not too dissimilar putt he'll have in a little while. Those putting stats. Tommy being asked to move his marker just goes to show you he will get a really good read off this putt from Johnson. Some people don't like to look at the line of along the line of a putt when someone's got a similar putt, in case you get put off, but something like Zach Johnson putting, you'd expect to get a pretty good read, because he should give it a good run at the hole. A little bit of umpire needed, so maybe not the greatest of reads, but at least it'll tell Tommy coming back into this breeze it needs a little bit of a thump. AC's in close, he's watching it. Oh well, look, yeah, stopped up pretty slowly, so he knows to give this one a little bit more hit. He would have seen how the ball turned. That makes it so much more positive in your own mind when you come to step up and have your putt. Eagle attempt. What would he give for this to go in?
It looked as though it was just trying to go left to right a bit at the end. Fantastic effort. Tap in birdie to get to 3 under. That's really a par today.
And it's not often that you're disappointed when you make a birdie, but I'm sure he'll be a wee bit disappointed.
Well, it hits the little marker here of Zach Johnson, but I don't think it would have made any difference. It was offline by then anyway. But it is the first birdie since he had his flurry of bogeys and doubles, so that's at least him going back in the right direction. Johnson
Used the whole hole there. And a birdie for both the players. Zach Johnson goes to -3, as does Tommy Fleetwood.
and they're only 3 behind.
I was just going to say they're only 3 shots behind.
4 to go. Storming finish, you never know. It would need something very special. Just snuck in the right side. Had a little bobble early on there. The moment he struck it.
Justin Rose has just lipped out for a birdie on this hole, the 15th. So close. Stays at 5 under.
That's how to play it. It is an iron really today off this tee, coming downwind around the elbow, but the way that Tom has been attacking, I suspect he'll be out with a 3-wood or a driver. Try and get it around the dog leg, chase it up there as fast as he can. An iron, even if you had an iron off the tee today, it'd probably only leave you a wedge or a 9-iron to the green. Well, certainly with Tiger making the double bogey, he's put the pack back into the frame, and lots of people besides that. 4 players in a tie for the lead, 4 players 1 shot back, so any one of 8 you can perm. These guys are just 3 behind. He is out with a big stick, going to take this right around the corner. That needs to move a little bit left. It's just gone very straight, likely to go through the fairway.
I don't think so. I mean, that line right there, what's it? There's 2.5.
The big tree in the distance is where you'd want the ball to finish on if you were hitting an iron. If you're hitting a 3-wood, you want it to go a little bit further left. A driver, a little bit more left, more into the first part of the big grandstand up there. Certainly for Zach Johnson, probably start it on the right-hand edge of that big tree if he wants to hook it around.
This is a hybrid. Perfect.
And that's gone through the fairway, so Fleet was bound to be a long way through because he was further right.
ever-changing scene at the top. Spieth, Kisner, Chappell, Molinari sharing the lead. Xander Schauffele's got a very good birdie chance at the 10th to get to 6 under. Alex Noren has dropped a shot at the 13th to slip back to 3 under. Mike Kuchar, who can say nearly won last year, beaten by Jordan Spieth coming down the stretch at 3 under. Ryan Moore, Torbjorn Olesen, Patrick Cantley all in at 3 under. Very good week for Eric Van Rooyen. He birdied the last for a 73, tied 18th in his rookie year on the European Tour. Adam Scott bogeyed the 16th to go back to 1 under. Danny Willett in with the 73. Signs that the old Masters champion is getting back to his best form. Louis Oosthuizen, 2010 Open champion, tied 29th at level par. A lot of people thought Brooks Koepka might feature rather better this week, having recently defended his US Open title. Good week for Sean Crocker, another rookie on the European Tour. Shubhankar Sharma made a good start today, wasn't able to keep it going. Had early birdies at the 3rd and the 5th. 4 bogeys after that. Brandon Stone, last week's winner in Scotland, finishes with a 77. Sean Norris, who started with an 8 today, only had 1 birdie all the way around and 5 other bogeys and a 79. Xander Lombard, also disappointing. He's had a horrible round, actually. Went out in 40 and he's had 1, 2, 3 double bogeys and 3 bogeys on the back 9. He made an eagle on the 18th to finish his 3rd round. Well, Tommy Fleetwood actually has hit it so far up here. It doesn't look to be too bad. Only 95 yards left.
Must be a par 5.
See there that Zach Johnson can see the flag, can't see the green. Can actually see the green side bunker though. That will help them a little bit because it'll give them a sense of the distance.
That's your line? Huh? Where you lined up?
See the flag on the hotel.
Yes.
Showing the wind direction straight behind as the hole is played. So from his angle, it'll be slightly left to right wind when it reaches its apex. So that will be able to take it a little bit towards the flag.
But very difficult with that wind behind and that front pin placement.
Yeah.
You've got that bunker short of that pin. So it's going to take something special here to stop it out this rough. This thing, once I think it hits the ground, it'll take off like a herd of turtles. Have you ever seen one of them go?
Into the beach very slowly.
Something special has just happened somewhere. Tremendous roar.
Maybe a little less even.
Great crowds out this afternoon. They're loving this. What an exciting afternoon.
You can see he's going to go to the left of that bunker, left of the pin. Exactly what he's done. And that's a fantastic shot. That is, the touch of a pickpocket.
Well, at least Tommy can see all the things ahead of him. He can't see the bunker up by the green, just a little flip with the arms, trying to run it down the slope. This is also going to be very good, I think. Come on, keep on coming. Oh, he knew there was no way that he could pitch that on the green. Lovely feel.
These are two really, really terrific golf shots. I mean, he's pitched that 15 yards short of the green. He's judged it to perfection, used all those slopes and undulations, and run it to within 7 feet. Much shorter shot, less than 100 yards, but easily as difficult. And he's done the same thing. Wow.
I mean, he literally just tried to flip it over the top of that bunker. He knew it was going to race away.
Xander Schauffele did make his birdie at the 10th, so he's at 600. It's a 5-way share of the lead. Tiger Woods followed up the drop shot at the 11th, or double at the 11th with the drop shot at the 12th. Back to 4 under 2 behind now. Tony Finau has finished with a 4. At the last round of 71, he's in the clubhouse at 4 under. That cheer, I fancy, was for Rory McIlroy, because he has made an eagle at the 14th. He's 6 under, sharing the lead. There are 6 of them there now.
More importantly for Tommy Fleetwood, though, on 15, can he have back-to-back birdies? He certainly can. So he's getting a little bit of a late lift. He's at 4. He's only 2 back. Plenty of holes left to play. Who knows what's going to happen? Only 3, but if he makes a couple of birdies, others falter. You never know.
McIlroy's playing with Matt Kuchar. Do you think he can do what happened to Kuchar last year? Rory could do to him again this year? Shame. He might never recover.
Well, the thing is that all those players at the back end of the field have still got the 14th to help them out. Zach to get to 4 under as well, and the way he putts, he'd be surprised if he misses.
Have a little bit of movement just off the right edge. Oh, too hard on the right edge. Inside the right. Over borrowed. He'd have to have a storming finish now. Zach Johnson. Mind you, with so many players lining up at the top, and with the last 2 championships here, there's been a playoff. Who would put it past you to have a playoff?
think I would put my money on Jordan Spieth right now.
I think it might have been a while since we've had 6 players tied at the top of the leaderboard with 5 or 6 or 7 holes to play.
16, 261. Is it really a par 3? I'm saying because it was downwind, it's fairly easy. Jamie Spence was saying fairly easy, but I think it's such a hard hole to hit the green because it falls off both sides. You've only got a narrow section, maybe 15 feet, 18 feet in the middle of that green where you can pitch it, land the ball on that green where it will stay on the putting surface. Otherwise it tends to fall away a bit like an upturned saucer. Wind off the left and helping. All these players know when they started this championship it could come down to the last 3 holes, and the question would be asked, can you play them in the right number?
This one, you've got to take so many things into account. Obviously you've got the wind, you've got the actual distance of the hole, but then you've got to take the bounce into account from the front of the green, and being downwind you've got to probably run the ball up. And you've got the pin on the back right of the green, and it slopes away on the right, it slopes away on the left. Wow, this is a tough shot. There's only one shot that works here, and that's a perfect shot.
Yeah.
And then you've got to have a lucky kick, or a lucky bounce, should I say.
Saw Stenson this morning in our feature game. He drilled it straight at the flag. Looked to be the most perfect 5-4 iron he hit, and it just, as it went up the rise, just drifted away to the left, and he's down in the big swale. Looked to have it absolutely perfect line, didn't find the green.
Once again, Tommy Fleetwood here, holding the club down the shaft. There's a good inch sticking out the end.
Mark James proposed the theory earlier on, and I must admit I hadn't thought about it. He actually has longer shafts than standard.
He might have an inch longer and then grip down. I'm not sure what that would actually give you, really.
You know, it only was kind of released for public consumption recently that Jack Nicklaus used to put weights under the grips of his clubs and did it forever.
Yeah, and sometimes he had dowel rods stuck in the bottom end of the shaft to stiffen them up. To be unbelievably strong to do that. Other side of the teeing grounds, you know he's going for the strong draw. That looks good. And it's very good. Tip-top shot. It's actually coming more straight downwind. I thought it would be a little bit more downwind and across. Maybe just quartering round a little.
Rory McIlroy with an eagle at the 14th shares the lead. Kevin Kisner has bogeyed the 12th to drop out of that share. They're just 5 men at 6 under. Now Eddie Pepperell still the clubhouse leader, only one off the lead. McIlroy with 3 drop shots, a couple of birdies and an eagle, 1 under for the round.
And Francesco Molinari still has not dropped a shot.
He's gone up and down the last 2 holes rather miraculously. Keep his round on track.
Tony Finau had 16 pars in his round, just one drop shot and the one birdie at the par 5 14th.
Well, if Molinari makes one more par, he'll tie what Ernie Els did earlier on this week, have 14 straight pars in a row. He's the only other player to have that sort of run.
One feels that Tommy Fleetwood needs at least one birdie, maybe two. 5 under, he might get into a playoff. 6 under, there's a very, very, very good chance he'll be at least in a playoff, isn't there? Don't you think?
I think it's going to be 7.
Oh dear, you ruin everything.
Only because I think of the 14th, if so many players are birdieing and eagling that hole, if they do get a birdie or an eagle, one of those players who are on the 6 under mark, then that will put them to 7. But they've still got to close the round out and play 3 very tough holes after that. Chip and run from Fleetwood. It's chased on an extra couple of feet, and I think that's what you do find on this hole. So many players end up with having 5, 6, 7 footers to salvage a par. So hard to get close to the hole with the tee shot. Check again, because so excited with what's going on with this match and around the course. Let's check up and see what's happening on 16. No birdies today on the 16th. 26 bogeys, 3 doubles. Only 3 birdies on the 17th. Have had 12 birdies down the last, so what a tough finish. 16th is the hardest hole on the course, 17th is the second hardest, and 18th becomes the 9th easiest. So a chance for Zach Johnson, make the first birdie of the day here. Oh, good effort. This is an absolutely splendid tee shot too. Going to be a little bit of movement left to right in this putt. He's trying to line his marker up before he takes, or his mark on the ball rather, before he takes the marker away. Although it's left to right, I suppose with the wind pushing it strong right to left, the wind may have an effect here and just hold the ball up. Something you might have to take into account now on these exposed spots on the course. Did go right.
That's a killer blow for Fleetwood. So I think that's his chance of the title gone.
have to birdie the last 2 holes to tie the man who's been inside the clubhouse now for a long time, Eddie Pepperell, with that round early in the day of 67. Well, this is an extremely tough hole today, 464 yards. Going to play more like, I don't know, 500. Got about at least 20 yards on the tee shot and 20 yards for the second shot. Straight into the teeth of the wind. Plenty of trouble with the burn that meanders around. And up by the green, 3 very large pot bunkers and some gorse bushes away to the right, which have caused quite a few problems over the years. There have been easier holes in tournament golf to make a 4 on than this one. Is if you get any tail on it at all, and this man does like to hit it a little bit with a draw, if you set it off in the middle of the fairway, the Barry burn will come into play. So he's almost going to aim this in the right hand rough.
That should be perfect. What is nice about this hole is that the fairway does slope a little bit up there from left to right, so you can see the ball there. It doesn't actually run down into that burn, which is nice.
He's not too far away from it though, was he?
No, he's not. He's got courage.
Yeah.
You don't win a Masters and an Open Championship unless you've got some courage.
Yeah.
Well, he's out with a driving iron. And once again, look how far down the shaft. That is so interesting. I'd love to find out why he does that.
He's going to make this
Beautiful.
smoke though, hasn't he?
That's a ripper.
But I mean, as Mark was saying, it could be that his hands are where they would be for a standard length shaft, and that he's just got a longer shaft.
I very much doubt that. I think he's just holding it down. He does that with all his clubs.
He does it with all of them, yeah.
I'm sure he hasn't lengthened his clubs.
10 tournaments.
I'd be very surprised, because that takes it really messes up the weighting of all your
But
clubs.
perhaps that's why he's done it. Might like the balance of the club like that.
I doubt it. It would be a first if he's done that.
We will find out at some
That
stage.
is going to be a first if he's lengthened them and then holds them down the shaft. I promise you. That's never been done before that I can remember with anybody who could play even decent golf.
Very dry, burnt Carnoustie links. Look at all the crowds gathering around that tented village.
If you believe in the signs, Ben Hogan in 1953 was the last Open champion at Carnoustie to win, having had the lead after 3 rounds, which doesn't augur well for Spieth, Schauffele and Kisner. But then records are made to be broken.
Right in the middle there is the 10th green, then you play away in the line of trees is where the 9th is. Top of the screen there, a little small, it's the 8th. See them all walking down behind the, or alongside the 12th, which is where the final group are going right now. Well, that's pretty clever. 232 off the tee, and he's got 232 left, so he just hits the same club again, does he?
Didn't work for him on the 6th. That drive in iron when he hit it for his second shot and he hit it out of bounds.
Well, isn't it out of bounds here, though?
No. Well, it is a long way off line.
And he is from the fairway this time.
And you've got 231s at the pin.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's shot you in on the range before.
Yeah,
That window's
same
left, so it's going between 215 and 220 caddy. You've got 203, 28, 7 right. You can land a 10 on.
Actually, I can see that club there, Jules. I can see the shot, 39.5 inches.
On the 10 on, gang, 28 on the pin.
Now, what about finishing like Xander Lombard or improving on what Xander Lombard
Come on,
did
Simon.
last time? If he can make a 3 here and then make the 2 down the last.
There goes another squadron of pigs.
You said records were there to be broken. Trying to hold this one up, cut it to the back right flag. Didn't let the hands turn over at all. Really cracking shot that with a long iron.
That really was very good shot. Just swept it off the top of the grass. Got it right up high in the air. Beautiful golf shot.
You like it?
He might just have short arms, of course.
And you can see that's been got long pockets as well.
Had it pretty much. Yeah.
Can say that Justin Rose made a par on 17, so he needs a birdie down the last hole to beat Eddie Pepperell in the clubhouse, be the leading man. As how many times have we seen that in the past? Players ending up in those gorse bushes. That's a big mistake from Zach Johnson. A feeling that the referee will be called into this group just to remind Zach Johnson, not that he won't know the rules, but just keep an eye on the drop when he drops it out of the gorse bushes. Take a little time, so Tommy will have a little longer to work out his birdie putt.
McIlroy's made a very good up and down par at the 16th, having missed the green long and left to remain at 6 under. Started the season well actually the back end of last year, but at the beginning of this season he was 6th in Hong Kong, followed it up with a successful defence in Abu Dhabi. Just seems to have gone from strength to strength throughout the summer. For Zach, it's 3 years almost exactly since his last win, St Andrews in 2015.
says the rules man. Well, he's not going to call for the drop. He wants to practice what it's going to be like going through the gorse bush.
That's okay right here, right?
Be surprised if they allowed him to practice there, because he might actually.
Is that okay? Yeah, good.
Sitting up in the gorse.
Oh, it could be. Wow. It's perched on top of the gorse bushes. Now, how lucky have you got to be to do that? You see where the club is hovering. You never cease to amaze. There are shots that people play and you think, oh well, that can't possibly happen, and yet it does. Other people, this would be buried, you'd have to drop it out. He gets a chance to get it on the green, and well, it would be a remarkable par if he pops it in.
Didn't control the spin very well though, did he? Tiger Woods has continued to have some fun and games. On the 14th, he hit it on the, I suppose you could call it the 4th green. Decided to chip from there, left it miles short, and then hold a 30-footer for a birdie.
And if he didn't make birdie there, he would really be out of it, because that's almost like holding a putt to save a par.
Yeah, and Molinari has made a birdie there. His first of the day, first non-par to take the lead on his own at 7 under.
Could it be that we have an Italian win the Open for the first time ever?
Certainly could be. Oh, it's a good putt.
I suppose that's if you don't count Gene Sarazen.
Dale's trying very hard to keep a straight face.
His name was Saraceni. Seriously. Changed his name.
Italian descent maybe, but always an American.
He was probably born in America, but his parents were definitely Italian.
And the history books tell us. I'm only just thinking, the history books have US by his name, that's all I'm going by, Dale. I know you're trying to stir it. And this man, I think he's an American. For his par here, on 17, remarkable par it would be. Never going to get to the hole. In fact, he might not even make a bogey now.
Justin Rose has just completed the most remarkable set. What odds would you have got on any player getting a birdie 3 4 times on the 18th this week? He's finished with a round of 69 to follow up his 64 yesterday. He's in the clubhouse, the new clubhouse leader, at 6 under. Quite extraordinary. And it wasn't much more than a tap-in either.
Zach tapped it in, but it was a little bit more than a tap-in, only for a bogey. So he slips back to 2. And, well, Rose one behind at the moment on the leaderboard. And of course, he only just made the cut. No one's won on the European Tour before from the cut line.
Does mean the end of the dream for Eddie Pepperell.
The 18th hole at Carnoustie, and although Justin Rose has made it look easy, this hole has seen more than its fair share of drama over the years. Bunkers down the right, narrow fairway, out of bounds on the left, the burn that crosses the front of the green, out of bounds, very close to the left-hand side of the green. A couple of bunkers, grandstands to the right. You've got just a little flag at the end, just to give you hope.
Of course, Justin Rose had to birdie the 18th on Friday just to be playing at the weekend. I mean, he looked dead and buried then. You wouldn't have given him a hope in hell of winning this.
And he might just finish tantalisingly close, but out of the running, one behind. Have a bit of a grandstand finish. Not going to win here. Europe's #1. Like to finish in style though. Lots of money, points on offer. World ranking points. Looks a cracking tee shot.
Right.
Just drifting off a little left, but it should be okay, I think.
Yeah.
There's that familiar draw for Zach Johnson, aiming at Johnny Miller's bunker and bringing it back down the fairway. Tasty tee shot.
And look at that thing going.
That ain't a fairway. I can't do anything.
Yeah, it really has dried up and firmed up again now. Warm sunshine, strong wind. Once again, there is going to be tremendous drama coming down the 18th at Carnoustie. Molinari's got the lead by 1 with 4 to go. He's in reasonable shape on the 15th. Rose leading in the clubhouse after a superb weekend's golf. Jordan Spieth playing the 14th, so if he makes an eagle there, that changes things. That Kuchar 1 over for his round at 4 under. Dropped a couple of shots early on, but he's battled through it. Torbjørn Olesen got away to a flying start, birdied the first couple, but out in only 36, level par 35 coming back. Phil Mickelson and Bernard Langer for the old brigade in there in a share of 24th place. Thomas Peters birdied the last for a 71 to finish at level par. Masters champion. Patrick Reed also at level. He bogeyed the last. A lot of inexperienced players, perhaps particularly on links golf and in difficult links conditions like out on Lee, finding the game difficult today. Misako Miyazato. Level par 71 for Tyrrell Hatton to finish. Kevin Na, recent winner on the PGA Tour of 72. Disappointing final round from Ben Arn, who played well yesterday. Lee Westwood, another major goes by without notching the much wanted win. And Lombard just had an absolute horror today. Who knows what went wrong? He'd played so well for 3 rounds. 1 birdie in the round, and the rest was a heap of trouble. 40 out, 42 back. I should mention Sam Locke too, coming back in 42 for a 78, the 19-year-old amateur who will win the silver medal.
I did have a feeling that Tommy Fleetwood had hit it further up here, coming down draft, but snagging this thick rough, so 173 to go. It's that Barry Byrne short of the green. That's some way short of the flag. Flag today's 34 paces up the green. You've got 10 paces, that's 44. It's only 135 or so for him to clear the burn, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Another terrific cheer out there from somewhere. Crowd favourite has done something.
I'm sure that rich, isn't it? Just 17. Around 167. You need to learn this. Flush it for
What he has to be very aware of here, coming out that thick grass, is that the club face doesn't turn and the ball just comes out straight left. So that out of bounds is very close to the left-hand side of the screen.
On the clock.
Pin is on the back left of the green. 34 on and just 5 from the left. So right at the back of the green.
Almost looks like he's got a wedge there.
It does. It does look like a wedge.
Wow, it's going to be a big wedge. He's obviously going to think this is going to jump, maybe get a little leap from the front edge of the green. Oh, he's pitched it well up. What shot!
Great shot, mate.
So that needed both of us to save at the same time, because that was special.
Like a lower 130 shot? Yep.
This looks like this might even be a gap wedge. 168 yards. Straight downwind.
Going.
So even from the fairway, it just becomes more difficult. We said as the wind and the sun dries the course out, becomes a little bit harder to get nearer the flag. If you can't do that, birdie putts become harder and harder. That's why this was such a stunning shot, not only to get it out from that lie, but judge the amount of release. He even got a little bit of spin out of there, which was quite something.
It's going to be another very good week for the European #1, Tommy Fleetwood, 10th in the world. Not the result he was hoping for, maybe, with that run of bogey, double bogey, bogey in the middle of the front nine that really undid him. But it's been a top performance nonetheless, and well played Zach Johnson as well. 52nd in the world. A Masters and an Open champion. What a special feeling. He's a very popular player, Tommy, because he's such a nice guy. He's one of those people that always has time for everyone, which is a great gift.
It is a great gift, and it's a lovely trait to have. Very down-to-earth character. Very humble, very modest.
As is Zach Johnson. Can't say I know him as well, but I've always found him very